In this devlog, I will show off the progress I have made on my game over the month of August. If you're new here, I'm working on a game called The Larcenist, inspired by the Grand Theft Auto series set in Perth, Western Australia. My current goal for my game is to create a minimum viable product by January 31st of next year. One of the first things I did this month was changing the mechanics of getting inside of a car. What you used to have to do was manually walk to the right hand side of the car where the driver's seat is, because this game is set in Australia, and press F. A problem with this, however, was that if a direct line could not be drawn from the player to the door without intercepting with any other objects, the player wouldn't go into the car. What I ended up doing was making it so that when the player is close enough to the car and they press F, the player automatically navigates to the driver's side door of the car and gets in. The way this works is very similar to my vehicle navigation system, where there are nodes which are connected to other nodes. If the player is over here, it will navigate to the closest node, which is this one, navigate to the next connected node, and because the connected node after that is the node which is right next to the driver's side door, it will navigate to that and then stop for the getting in the car animation to play. A problem I used to have was that when you shot a pedestrian and they weren't currently ragdolling, the bullet just floated in the air. The blood effect also didn't match where the pedestrian was shot, and also the bullet hole was just a black sphere. As you can see now, when you shoot an NPC, the bullet hole actually sticks to them. I also improved the blood effect, making it look better and also making it originate from where the NPC was shot. The bullet holes are also red when you shoot an NPC and grey when you shoot the wall. The next thing I worked on this month were missions. I decided to make these missions how they are in GTA 5, where you walk to a location to get the mission, go through a couple cutscenes along the way, drive to a couple locations, do a couple tasks, and then eventually complete the mission. One of the first things I worked on was the ability for NPCs to enter the player's car. This system works very similar to how the player entering the car works. As you can see, the player just entered the car and their NPC friend is following them and also enters the car. The next thing I worked on was an actual system to make missions. For my mission system, I decided to use Unity's scriptable objects. In a nutshell, scriptable objects are basically like a data container. In this case, the data being contained in the scriptable object is all the variables that decide how the mission goes. As you can see, I set up a simple proof of concept mission, where you can enter this invisible trigger, which triggers a mission and a cutscene. This mission trigger also spawns in a car and an NPC. When the player enters the bank, it triggers another cutscene, but this time, the player can move around in this cutscene. I also added a system for dialogue.
Everyone on the floor! You! Behind the counter! Open the door!
Don't shoot me!
As you guys can see, I am currently going for a walk. Because it is the 3rd of spring, and it's quite a nice day outside compared to this year's long and cold winter. And the second reason is to record B-roll, so I'm not just talking at you with a black screen. This month I completed 10.3% of all the tasks I need to do to reach my deadline. I realised that the minimum percentage I needed to be able to reach my deadline was about 16%. Now I kind of saw this coming because I felt like this month I wasn't as productive as I could have been. So now I'm going to try to discuss methods I could use to be more productive next month. The first thing I'm planning to do is cut a few things from my roadmap that I probably won't need for a minimum viable product. Now, I have a couple ideas for what I could cut right now. Currently, I'm thinking most of the basic map I can cut. I can probably just use placeholder graphics.
I will also remove the damage model from my roadmap, as I feel like it is not needed to create a minimum viable product. So after all the updates, here is my roadmap. I made some extra room for the things I did not complete this month, like the ability to fail and pass missions.